There is a specific kind of silence that haunts the home of a parent whose child has wandered far from God. It is not a peaceful silence. It is a heavy, suffocating silence that screams with unanswered questions. You lie in bed at night, staring at the ceiling, listening to the rain against the window, and your mind travels to places your body cannot go. You imagine where your son or daughter is right now. Are they in a bar surrounded by strangers who do not care about them? Are they in a room doing things that would break your heart if you saw them? Are they lying awake, feeling the crushing weight of depression and emptiness? The greatest torture for a mother or a father is the feeling of absolute helplessness. You feel like there is a wall of glass between you and the person you love. You cannot protect them anymore. You cannot hold their hand to cross the street. They are adults now, walking blindly through a minefield of sins, addictions, and spiritual dangers, and you are forced to watch from a distance, armed only with your tears and your rosary. This fear is compounded by a terrifying spiritual anxiety. You look at their life, perhaps filled with drugs, promiscuity, or a cold, arrogant atheism, and you think, God must be so angry with him. Surely the heavens have turned their back on him. How could a holy God stand to be near someone who lives like this? We project our human limitations onto God. We think that because we are exhausted, God is exhausted. We think that because we are disgusted by their choices, the angels are disgusted too. We imagine that the guardian angel, that pure spirit assigned to them at conception, must be standing in a corner, covering his eyes in shame, or perhaps he has already flown back to heaven, abandoning the post because the mission failed. This is the lie that keeps us in despair. It is the lie that tells us our loved ones are alone in the dark, unprotected and unclaimed. But Saint Bridget of Sweden, a woman who was not only a mystic but also a mother of 8 children, was given a vision that destroys this lie completely. God pulled back the veil of the invisible world to show her the reality of his mercy. He didn't show her a sanitized, Hallmark card version of spirituality. He showed her the brutal, gritty reality of the war for a soul. Bridget was transported in spirit to witness the condition of a man who was living in a state of mortal sin. To the human eye, this man probably looked successful, or perhaps he looked like a party animal having the time of his life. But to the spiritual eye, he was a monster. Saint Bridget described his soul as a decomposing corpse. It was black, charred by the fires of passion. It was covered in sores and filth, smelling of sulfur and rot. It was a sight so repulsive that it would make a normal person vomit in horror. This is what sin does to us. It doesn't just break a rule, it disfigures the image of God in us. However, the shock of the vision was not the ugliness of the sinner. It was the beauty of the figure standing next to him. Standing ankle-deep in that spiritual filth, surrounded by the stench of the man's vices, was a prince of heaven. It was the man's guardian angel. He was radiant, majestic, terrifying in his power, and blinding in his purity. And he was not leaving. He was not cowering in the corner. He was not looking for an exit strategy. He stood like a sentinel, like a member of the Secret Service protecting a president glued to the side of this corpse. This image challenges everything we feel about holiness. We think holiness withdraws from sin, but here we see that true holiness descends into the mud to save the sinner. The angel remained there not because the man deserved it, the man was actively spitting on the angel's guidance, but because the angel is bound by a loyalty that humans cannot comprehend. Before we dive deeper into this courtroom drama between the angel and the demons, I want to invite you to make a spiritual act of trust right now. We are building a community here of people who refuse to give up on their loved ones. If you are watching this with a heavy heart, worrying about a son, a daughter, or a spouse who is lost, you are in the right place. The algorithm might treat you like a number, but here you are, family. Please take a moment to subscribe to the channel and like this video. This isn't about vanity metrics. It's about signaling that we need more content that brings hope to the hopeless. And in the comments below, I want you to perform an act of intercession. Write the first letter of the name of the person you are praying for, and add the words, "Angel of God, do not leave him." By doing this, you are uniting your prayer with thousands of others, creating a net of grace that the enemy hates. Returning to the vision, Saint Bridget noticed that while the angel was present, the atmosphere was not peaceful. It was a war zone. The angel was not just standing there. He was enduring a barrage of insults from the enemy. Bridget saw demons circling the sinner like vultures circling a dying animal. They were arrogant, loud, and possessive. They looked at the angel with mockery and hatred. To them, the angel looked like a fool. Why would a being of such light waste his time on a piece of trash? The demons began to taunt the angel. They screamed the arguments that often echo in our own minds. They shouted, "Why are you still here, O Spirit of Light? Look at this man, he belongs to us. He does our will from the moment he wakes up until he passes out. He mocks your God. He ignores your whispers. He has rejected every grace you offered him for 20 years. You are unemployed here, you are guarding a corpse. Go back to heaven and leave him to his owners." The logic of the demons was terrifying because it was, in a way, fair. By all rights, the man had chosen hell. He had chosen the mud. Justice would demand that the angel step aside and let the man have what he wanted. The tension in the vision was palpable. St. Bridget watched, wondering if the angel would finally snap, if he would finally say, "Enough is enough," and abandon the soul to its fate. The demons moved closer, their claws ready to drag the soul away. Convinced that the angel's patience had finally run out, they believed that the sheer volume of the man's sins had broken the contract of protection. They were betting on the idea that God's patience has a limit, and that this man had crossed it miles ago. But they forgot who they were dealing with. They forgot that an angel does not operate on human emotions or exhaustion. An angel operates on the divine will. And the answer the angel gave to the demons is one of the most powerful declarations of hope ever recorded in the history of the Church. It is an answer that should be printed and put on the wall of every mother who cries for her children. In the next block, we will hear this defense. We will witness the angel breaking his silence to deliver a theology of mercy that silenced hell itself. We will discover exactly why he stays and what he is waiting for, a secret expectation that keeps him rooted to the spot even when the sinner is at his worst. The taunts of the demons hung in the air like toxic smoke, heavy with the weight of undeniable facts. They were not lying about the man's condition. They were simply stating the obvious. Every sin he had committed was a signed contract, a legal document handing over his rights to the kingdom of darkness. The demons pointed to his history, the lies, the betrayals, the cold-hearted rejections of grace, and demanded that the spiritual laws of the universe be upheld. To them, the presence of the guardian angel was an insult to justice. It was as if a lawyer were trying to defend a murderer who had been caught holding the weapon, covered in blood, and laughing about the crime. The demons screamed for the angel to abdicate his post, to admit defeat, and to fly back to the purity of heaven where he belonged, leaving the trash to be collected by the garbage men of hell. St. Bridget watched this confrontation with her heart in her throat. She knew that if the angel stepped away, even for a fraction of a second, the soul would be devoured. The protection of the angel was the only dam holding back a flood of absolute destruction. The sinner, oblivious to this supernatural court case happening inches from his face, continued in his stupor, perhaps sleeping off a night of debauchery or planning his next offense. He was completely unaware that his eternal destiny was being debated by ancient intelligences right next to his bed. This is the terrifying reality of our spiritual blindness. We live our lives focused on trivial things, money, pleasure, reputation, while right beside us, a war is raging that makes the battles of earth look like children playing with toy soldiers. Then, the angel broke his silence. He did not shout. He did not argue with the frantic energy of the demons. He spoke with the calm, immovable resonance of a being who has looked into the face of God and found peace. He turned his gaze upon the leader of the demonic pack, his eyes burning not with anger but with a supreme authority that made the shadows recoil. "I will not leave," the angel declared. "You point to the filth on his skin, but I see the breath in his lungs. You see what he has done, but I see what he can still become." The angel continued his defense, dismantling the logic of hell with the logic of mercy. He explained that his post was not assigned by the merit of the man, but by the mercy of the Creator. "My master, the Lord of hosts, has given me a command," the angel said. "He told me to stand here. He did not say, "Stand here only if he is good." He did not say, "Stand here only if he listens." He said, "Stand here until the end, and until the final breath leaves this body, until the final judgment is pronounced by the throne. This territory is under my protection." Saint Bridget realized in that moment the profound theology of the time of grace. The angel was arguing for time. The demons wanted to close the book immediately. The angel was fighting to keep the pages open. He argued that as long as the heart beats, there is a possibility, however small, however microscopic, of a turn. He told the demons, "You do not know the future. You know his habits, but you do not know the secret movements of grace that may strike him in his final hour. I am here for that hour. I am here for the possibility of one tear. And for the sake of that one potential tear, I will endure a lifetime of this stench." This revelation is a lifeline for every parent watching. We often look at our loved ones and think, "It's been 10 years. He hasn't changed. He is getting worse." We think in terms of human patience, which runs out. We get tired. We get frustrated. We start to prepare ourselves for the worst. But the guardian angel does not get tired. He is outside of time. He does not suffer from compassion fatigue. To him, 40 years of rebellion is just a moment compared to eternity. He is like a master gardener standing over a dead-looking tree in the middle of winter. The world says, "Cut it down, it's wood for the fire." But the gardener says, "No, I see green under the bark. I will wait for spring. Even if spring comes 1 minute before the end of the world, I will wait." The demons raged against this. They hated the angel's hope because it reminded them of what they had lost. They, the fallen angels, had made their choice in an instant and were lost forever. They could not understand why this pathetic human creature was being given chance after chance, decade after decade. It infuriated them. They tried to reach past the angel to strike the sinner with despair, to whisper thoughts of suicide and hopelessness into his mind. They wanted the man to end it himself, to cut the thread of life so that the angel would be forced to leave. But the angel drew his sword, not a sword of steel, but a sword of light, and blocked their path. Saint Bridget saw that the angel's primary job for a sinner is not just to whisper good thoughts, but to block the worst of the evil ones. Without the angel, the man would have been destroyed years ago. The angel was filtering the attacks, allowing only what the man could handle, constantly mitigating the damage. He was doing damage control on a sinking ship, pumping out the water faster than it was coming in, just to keep it afloat long enough to reach the harbor of confession. The angel turned back to the demons and delivered his final decree. "You demand his soul because of his past. I hold his soul for his future. You are the accusers of the brethren, but I am the brother of this prodigal. And I tell you, as long as there is a pulse, there is a prayer. And as long as there is a prayer, the door is not shut. Step back." The demons, snarling and furious, had to obey. They could not cross the line drawn by the divine command. They could circle, they could scream, but they could not touch the core of the man's life as long as the silent bodyguard stood his ground. The angel resumed his position, dignified, patient, and incredibly sad, yet filled with a burning, obstinate hope. He looked at the man sleeping in his sin, not with contempt, but with the look of a mother watching a feverish child, waiting for the fever to break. Saint Bridget watched this scene fade, her spirit returning to her body with a sensation of overwhelming relief. She had seen the worst of human corruption, but she had also seen the best of divine faithfulness. She understood now that "God does not abandon" is not just a nice slogan for a Sunday school class. It is a tactical reality. It is a military order given to the most powerful spirits in the universe. This vision changes how we must fight for our families. If the angel is that stubborn, we must be that stubborn. If the angel refuses to leave the room, we must refuse to leave the battle of prayer. We often feel like we are shouting into the void, that our prayers are bouncing off the ceiling. But the reality is that our prayers are the fuel that the angel uses. When you pray for your son, you are literally handing a weapon to the angel standing in that bar. You are giving him the strength to hold the line for one more day, One more hour. But there is a catch. The angel protects the time for repentance, but he cannot force the act of repentance. He can hold the door open, but the man must walk through it. And this leads us to the final, crucial part of the mystery. How do we help the angel? How do we, from a distance, wake up the sleeper? Saint Bridget was given a specific insight into the language of the angels, how to communicate with the guardian of another person to trigger a crisis of conscience. There is a way to form an alliance with the angel of your loved one, a way to coordinate a spiritual ambush that can break the chains of even the hardest addiction. In the final moments of this journey, we are going to learn how to activate this alliance. We are going to learn the specific request you need to make, not to God directly, but to the angel who is waiting for your signal. The vision of Saint Bridget fades from the eyes of the spirit, but the reality it uncovered remains burned into our consciousness, changing the way we look at the world forever. We now know that the man stumbling out of the bar, the woman lost in the haze of addiction, or the son who hasn't spoken to his parents in years is not walking alone. We know that beside every broken step, there is a Prince of Light adjusting his stride, matching the pace of the sinner, refusing to let the darkness have the final word. But knowing this is not enough, we must act on it. The guardian angel is a warrior, yes, but even the greatest warrior needs a supply line. In the spiritual economy of salvation, the angel is the soldier on the front lines deep in enemy territory, while you, the mother, the father, the intercessor, are the supply commander back at the base. The angel is waiting for you to send the ammunition he needs to keep fighting. That ammunition is not worry, it is not anxiety, it is not the sleepless nights spent imagining the worst. That ammunition is specific, targeted, authoritative prayer. When you cry in despair, you are releasing sorrow into the world. But when you pray with confidence in the angel's presence, you are releasing power. This brings us to the most practical and potent secret of this entire revelation: the ability to form a strategic alliance with the angel of another person. We often make the mistake of trying to speak directly to the sinner. We nag, we plead, we send angry text messages, we quote scripture to them, and what happens? They put up a wall. They block us. They see our lips moving, but they hear judgment. They are deaf to our human voice because their hearts are hardened by the noise of the world. But here is the key. They cannot block their guardian angel. The angel is inside the walls. The angel has access to their conscience in a way you do not. He can whisper thoughts. He can trigger memories. He can create sudden feelings of unease or nostalgia that the sinner cannot explain. Saint Bridget teaches us that instead of banging on the locked front door of our children's hearts, we should talk to the doorman who is already standing on the inside. We need to learn the art of angelic intercession, where we stop talking at the person and start talking to their protector. We are digging deep into the treasury of the church to bring you these weapons because we know the battle is real and the casualties are high. We know that many of you are watching this with tears in your eyes, holding onto a thread of hope for someone you love. This channel exists to turn that thread into a rope. Producing these documentaries, researching the lives of the mystics, and translating these ancient realities into modern strength takes immense time and resources. We are fighting a culture that wants to bury these truths. If this mission has served you, if it has given you a new way to fight for your family, I ask you to consider supporting us. You can help us keep this beacon lit by using the Super Thanks button to make a donation, or by clicking Join to become a member of our inner circle. Your financial support is not just a transaction, it is a partnership in this rescue mission, allowing us to reach more souls who are on the brink of despair. Just as you invest in your family, we ask you to invest in this voice that fights for them. Now, let us operationalize this alliance. How do you actually do it? It starts with a shift in your prayer life. The next time you feel that wave of panic about your son or daughter, instead of spiraling into fear, stop. Close your eyes. Visualize the angel standing next to them. It doesn't matter where they are, the angel is there. Address the angel directly. You can say, Angel of God, guardian of my child, I salute you. I thank you for your loyalty. I know you are there. I know you have not left him. I admit that I cannot reach him right now, but you can. I ask you, by the power of the Most High, to wake him up. Disturb his peace. Do not let him find comfort in sin. Prick his conscience. Remind him of home. I promise to pray if you promise to act. We are in this together. When you pray this way, you are acknowledging the angel's dignity. You are treating him as a person, as a partner. And the saints tell us that the angels respond with immense gratitude to this recognition. They feel a surge of strength when a human on earth acknowledges their difficult mission. You are validating his post, and in return he redoubles his efforts. What happens on the other end? The son in the bar suddenly feels that the drink tastes bitter. He looks at his friends and feels a sudden wave of boredom or disgust. He remembers a Christmas from his childhood. He feels a strange urge to call home. He doesn't know why. He thinks it's just a mood swing. He doesn't realize that his mother has just radioed his angel, and the angel has just nudged his soul. This is how the battle is won. Not by a single lightning bolt, but by 1,000 small invisible nudges that slowly steer the ship away from the rocks. The angel uses holy coincidences. He might arrange for the sinner to run into an old friend who is a believer, or to hear a song that triggers a memory of God, or to simply feel a profound loneliness that drives them to seek something more than the world can offer. Your prayers are the fuel for these coincidences. You are the architect of the ambush. The angel is the executor. We must also remember the long game. Saint Bridget saw the angel waiting. He wasn't looking at a watch. He was prepared to wait until the very last breath. This means we must adopt the timeline of heaven. We want the conversion to happen next Tuesday. It might happen in 20 years. It might happen on the deathbed. But the story of the angel tells us that the when is not our business, the hope is our business. We are called to be the external conscience for those who have lost their internal one. We are called to believe for them when they cannot believe for themselves. We are the spiritual lungs breathing for a soul that is drowning, and the angel is the lifeguard holding their head above water. As long as you are praying and as long as the angel is guarding, the story is not over. The devil wants you to look at the calendar and despair. God wants you to look at the cross and trust. Imagine the final scene. Imagine the day when the veil is finally lifted for good. You are standing in the light of eternity, and you see your son or daughter coming towards you, saved, healed, and radiant. And standing next to them is that tall, majestic warrior of light. The angel will look at you, and you will look at him. You won't need words. You will share a look of profound mutual understanding. He will know the tears you shed in the middle of the night, and you will know the insults he endured in the middle of the filth. You will realize that you were partners in the greatest conspiracy of love in history. You saved a soul together. The angel will step aside and present your child to you, saying, "We did not lose him. I held the door, and you called him home." This is the promise of Saint Bridget's vision. It is the promise that love, armed with prayer and backed by the armies of heaven, is the most stubborn force in the universe. Do not let the devil tell you it is too late. Do not let the silence of God fool you. The angel is there. He has not left. He is waiting for your signal. Give it to him today. Wipe your tears, pick up your rosary, and get back in the fight, for the victory is already being prepared in the silence of the faithful heart.